Oh my God. Okay, so I think that we're live on our Google Hangout about upping your boldness as a woman by dancing tango in Buenos Aires. And we have me, Sasha Cagen, the author of Quirkyalone, a manifesto for uncompromising romantics, and a committed tango fanatic. And we have a pair of dancers right here. I see that someone named Nele is holding, and I don't know what that is. Nele, will you tell us who you are and who your dancers are?
I'm Nele. I'm tanguera. I'm a tango dancer and soon a tango instructor. I'm also psicotanguera. I practice psicotango, so it's tango to work on oneself, on personal development, tango for health. Yes, and I'm so excited for our first Google Hangout, and I wish that it won't turn to hangover. So I have even my props, my personal props here. So.
Not hangover. And Carissa is an amazing dancer, world traveler and dancer who joined us for the first Quirky Heart Tango Adventure. And Carissa, will you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi, I'm Carissa, as she had said. I am a two-time Sasha Cagen person because I've attended the Quirkyalone online class and then, of course, going to Buenos Aires with the team here. So been an amazing time. I do have a prop too. I've got my tango shoes, so I had to bring those little guys into the picture since Natalie has hers. And I'm just excited to be here and talk about what's been going on. So
awesome. Yay. So this is going to be our first Quirky Hangout, and we're going to talk about how tango has really helped us to grow our confidence as women. And I think for sure that's a big reason that I was attracted to tango, was something in the posture and the strength that I saw that each person really needed to be strong in order to create this amazing connection in the dance. So what we're going to do today is each of us is going to share a story about how tango has made us stronger as a woman. And then we're going to tell you about the trip, the Quirky Heart Tango Adventure, where you can put this into play with us in Buenos Aires. And we'll have questions about the trip and about tango in Buenos Aires or anything that comes up. So I will start. I will share my tale. Is something that I've talked to you guys about a little bit, Nele and Carissa, but I'm not sure I shared everything, so we'll see what comes out today. So my thing is eye contact, that especially when you go and you learn tango in Buenos Aires, what you need to do is train your eye contact. So I'm going to train it with you. I'm going to work on looking at the computer right now and like being straight on and showing you my desire to dance with you. Okay, I have to look at the camera. So the idea is that I'm looking right at you, and it's unmistakable, and I'm showing my desire through my eyes. And this is not something that we are taught to do as women. It is absolutely not the normal behavior on the street, for example. Like, you don't go around staring at men on the street, or if there's a guy that you like at school or at work or in a cafe, you don't typically stare at him. But this is what you have to do in tango to get a dance in Buenos Aires. You absolutely have to learn how to sit on one side of the room with the women, and the men are the other side, and your job is to bore holes into the men's eyes to show your desire. So this is a really good training ground for eye contact. Now, when you leave tango and you go out in the world, probably you're not going to stare that intently at people. But it is going to increase your capacity to make eye contact. And I think this is a really, really important skill in our world, especially in our digital world, where we're all in our screens and not connecting with each other. Number one, if you're wanting to meet someone to date, this is a great way to just meet someone more naturally, like actually make eye contact with them. If you want to have more presence when you're making a presentation, learn how to make eye contact with people. Or you simply just want to have more connection in your life and have more things happen, make eye contact. And my idea is that they say that the eyes are the windows to the soul, so we have to make eye contact to like actually connect with each other. Yeah. So that is one way that tango has made me stronger, because I actually learned how to make sustained eye contact and just stare at a man. It's hard, but you can do it, and you can learn it with us. Okay, so Nele, let's hear yours.
Well, my secret is also closely connected to our title, Up Your Boldness, and as taking an active role, being a woman and going to Milonga, place where you dance tango. So my story goes, like when 2012, I moved to Buenos Aires from Estonia to learn tango, and after a couple of months, I already felt quite secure and about my dancing skills, and obviously I had a lot of attitude and wish to dance, and yet sometimes it happened that I went to Milonga and I left the Milonga without any dance, and having this desire to dance and not being able to do it, it created a lot of frustration and disappointment at the beginning. And the reasons why one doesn't get to dance, sometimes it's the reasons are many. Sometimes there were just few men and a lot of women, and sometimes there were a lot of women and a lot of men, but maybe it was a traditional one or for the older generation and I was too young, or maybe I was just a stranger because of it was a familiar milonga. So, and most often the reasons why one doesn't dance sometimes is just not even personal. It just happens, and I think every dancer, tango dancer, has experienced this. So what at the beginning I didn't do much about it, but I went when I went to dance with my boyfriend Victor, and obviously we danced a couple of dances together, but our idea was dancing with all people present and practice our skills with different people, and so he was just picking from this side and that side next women and dancing whole night, and yet I was having just some dances with him and nothing more sometimes, and I still got frustrated. But his point of view was that, hey, why these are only guys who need to invite women. Why can't you invite? Just go and invite. And first I was explaining like, well, in traditional way, men are supposed to invite, and well, if no one is watching me and I can't respond with my eyes, well, it's just, no, I can't walk down to the table and invite. He didn't get convinced by this, what I was telling, and I didn't either, because even though I gave those amazing or believable excuses, I still didn't get to dance, and I still felt frustrated sometimes, and so I started to practice inviting with my eyes, and more I practiced, more bold I got. It was not easy, and it's still, I'm having nights when I'm too tired to invite. I just prefer to watch, maybe even if there are no dances to dance. But definitely this being able to invite is such an empowering experience. It's just like I have got excited up to the point when I entered the milonga, and I feel like I'm a hunter, like all the guys, like no, it's me who is picking you, not vice versa. So it's definitely a gratifying feeling, and you will get to dance anyways. If you have a lot of patience, which you have to have at the beginning, and just waiting the invitation, you will get to dance. It's just when you also take your courage and go and invite or look for an eye contact, there are bigger chances that you'll get what you want and go for what you want.
Yeah, that's so great, Nele. And I just want to throw in there that with I'm going to get my eye contact now so I can practice what I'm preaching. With my coaching clients and with Quirkyalone women I talk to, it's like we have this issue out in the world too, that we still have the idea that men are the ones to approach us, and what you're talking about is getting direct practice with being the inviter in a dance and in life. So I think that's really, really cool. It's awesome. And for people who come on our trip, we're going to help you get dances. So this experience of having to wait and be patient, it is part of it, yes, but you're going to have guidance and assistance. And also Nele is an awesome lead, we should say, that not only is she good at asking men to dance, but she's actually a really amazing lead dancer.
Definitely.
I will invite you to dance. This is my promise.
You would be blessed to dance with Nele.
And you will enjoy it.
Yes. So, could you want to tell me yours, Carissa? What is your story slash experience slash sharing?
Great. Okay, so I came into the tango adventure just really frustrated with this whole idea of when I'm in a relationship, things are great, it's amazing stuff, the energy's crazy, and then when I'm not in a relationship, it just feels like there's such a huge difference, and I just it's just not the same. And I was talking to Sasha about that, especially when we start talking about this Psicotango thing that was going to be going on, and the second part of it was, to figure out how to get rid of that frustration, but then secondly, how to really open up myself, the other parts of me out there into the world, because I knew through the Get Quirky class that I sure as heck am sharing myself, and that's all I really have, is to be myself and be out there in the world, and I wasn't doing it. So those are kind of my two goals, which I shared a little bit of. During the sessions, or during the week actually, the very busy week, and Sasha, when you say that we coach, we help, it's a group effort, right? All of us kind of helped each other out on it. It wasn't just go do it. And I really wanted to push myself out of my standard role, my sit, wait, watch, timidness kind of thing. And I think it was halfway through the week that we had the Psicotango workshop, which it was a workshop. It was a very serious but fun and just so exciting thing to do. It was midweek, and by that time I had learned I had gone to some classes, right? I had been to Malongas, and I had been out there once or twice, but I was still walking, right? I wasn't doing the big twists and the flips and all that other fun stuff, but I was walking. So in the Psicotango, it talks about how tango, yes, it's a dance and it has steps and everything, but there's this whole connection side of it and this whole touch kind of thing, that you're there with someone else, you're yourself, they're themselves, and then you dance, right? You do the connection with them. And in the workshop, it was very gradual as far as how we went step by step to make sure everyone was kind of comfortable with getting to different levels of touch. And it started with kind of a mirror dance where we didn't even touch at all and kind of had to follow each other. And then it went to an open embrace, which was much more, a foot between, maybe less. And so then when it came to the close embrace, which most people think, I can't do that to a total stranger for an entire dance, having that workshop be gradual like that was amazing. And I don't want to give too much of the workshop away because you have to be there to experience it. But when I let everything go and just experienced this idea, and it was a older gentleman that just amazing dancer, and he walked me. He didn't try to do crazy stuff with all the fancy tango things, but I just lost it. I was in the moment. I don't know what was going on other than I was happy. It felt perfect, and I was just there and enjoying this hug. And I really wanted more of that, right? Like you guys, that night I was way too tired to go out, but the next day I was a different person. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to see what life was had. And it wasn't, when you think of touch, I always thought, oh, that's like a, more sexual kind of thing. But it wasn't sexual. It was sensual. It was, this kind of instant connection to someone. It was a true connection. It was safe. It was all that stuff. So I had that. So, of course, when I came back to Tampa, I wanted to do this more. I realized that was kind of my way of getting rid of that frustration of having such a major difference in my life of, being with someone in a relationship versus just, being with my friends and that type of thing. So I started tango in Tampa. Thank the Lord there was a group that I could get involved with, started taking classes. And really just the sense of myself is different when I go out and do things. I'm in a different place than I was before. I choose to be close to people. It's not out of desperation that if some guy shows interest in me, I'm like, yes, let's go, so I can get my touch time in. That doesn't happen anymore. It's a choice for me to be closer to someone. And I hug more, I express more. I feel love for myself versus just kind of thinking I'm supposed to love myself. That's what all the self-help books say. So, I mean, I know it sounds crazy to say all that kind of happened in a week, but it was the starting point in Buenos Aires and then coming back and saying, yes, you're going to do this. So that's my secret, my story.
Oh, my gosh. Carissa, you do such an amazing job of talking about what it is like to feel that embrace in the very beginning, because I can so identify with what you're saying, because I felt the same way when I discovered tango in Colombia when I was traveling, and it was just random. And I had that feeling, too, that having that experience of the embrace was something that I had been looking for so long. And I felt like my health was actually adjusted afterwards. Like I started to sleep better and wake up and feel more happy. And I had that feeling, almost like what you said, of thank God there was a group in Tampa. For me, it was like, how am I going to live without this? Like, I found this thing that, like, works for me and makes me happy and, really works for me as a single woman, too, is sort of like part of what you were saying is, like, being single and not having a boyfriend, not having consistent touch, it leaves you really kind of imbalanced, I think, physically and with your health if you're not getting enough touch. And suddenly I was getting like an overload of oxytocin. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've needed, So that was such a fabulous couple months of my life in the very beginning, and you totally evoked that.
Definitely.
Did you have that, Nele? Did you have that? What was your, like, I just discovered tango feeling of, we could say the tangasm, too, that we talk about. Like, we're talking about the tangasm, I think, is like the good feeling that you get from that touch.
Yes, I had my first tangasm. It happened, it's a longer story. Do we have time?
Well, just tell us the quick tangasm.
Yeah, the experience by itself happened like I went to, it was my last night in Italy where I was living 1 year, and I was practicing, or I was accompanying a friend who was learning to dance tango, and he was teaching me. He was my first tango teacher, beginner, and teaching another beginner, and during the practice we got stressed and we were like crazy, frustrated, married couples sometimes blaming each other, and it's your fault, da da da. But last night we were really relaxed. We knew that there's nothing more to teach. Like, this night is just for enjoying. So I think we were in the right mood, and the magic happened, and we managed to create such an harmony. We were listening so attentively each other, and in one point I was just feeling like, oh mine, I don't have any more my body limits. It's not him, he and me. It's us, and even bigger, not even us, because even the walls and the roof went really far away, and I literally felt like flowing. So this, I got into the flow. I don't know if it was the same for him, but I'm sure it was special for him, because later I realized that also people watching outside, watching our dance from outside, even they could feel that there were this connection. So yeah, it was connection where it's kind of a meditative state, I guess, what I achieved. Just being connected with everything, with the music, with my partner, with the room, with the space, with other dancers, and just enjoying being relaxed, letting it happen, and not so much forcing it to happen, and not really worrying about my steps. So I think, yeah, and I was total beginner, and later after that dance, another guy invited me to dance, and he was actually a tango teacher. So that's why I thought that, okay, my tangas have to be flowing outward, and contrary, this dance with this tango teacher, who should be so much more experienced dancer, it really didn't work. Maybe I was too nervous, but nothing alike. So that tangasm could happen. You don't really, like, it happened with my friend. We were not having any relationship for friend, and yeah, so.
Right. That's a really good point, because it brings up a question that people often have is, do I need to have a partner to dance tango? And the answer is no, you really don't, and you probably are going to learn better if you don't come with a partner, because you can dance with a variety of people. And like you were saying, Nele, like the tangasm, I think tango is this strange thing of being sensual and sort of on the border of sexual, but not really. And certainly a tangasm can be had with anyone. I mean, it's outside of our category of anything else. So yeah, you can have a tangasm with a stranger, or with a best friend, or someone you're sexually attracted to. And what I like about your story too is that people should know you can have a tangasm as a beginner, and it may be the best tangasm you'll ever have.
It was my case. I think in this level it never repeated, but it's like the first one is always the first one. You can't deny it, and next ones are special, but you know they're special already in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't repeat it, and it's because you don't have all the technique in your mind, so you're way more free. And there's nothing like the first one. What do you think, Carissa?
I hope there's more. Well, but there is, right? There's different levels of it, because when I go to the Friday socials that they have here in Tampa, and just watching folks moving around, just kind of an atmosphere to it, that the group's all together, and then when I do lose where's my feet? Am I standing right? Am my back straight? When I stop doing that stuff and thinking about it, then I'm in the moment, and I'm just there, and I'm having fun. So it's maybe more mini versions of it, but they're there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are many kinds of tangasms. So we're going to open up for questions. So I think the best way to ask questions now is to ask them on the Google Hangout page. And we have some questions that came in beforehand, so we'll talk about those first. But please be interactive with us and tell us your questions. So let me look at the questions that we had so far that came in. Okay, this is one. Will I get something out of this trip if I never had a dance lesson? So, Carissa, I'll let you answer that one.
Yes. Zero dance experience, the goofy stuff in the nightclubs and some line dancing, but other than that, zero. So, and it's all the same stuff. It's the, will someone want to dance with me? Will I make a fool of myself? You get to hit all of that stuff out there in a great group and just let it, just go with it. You're in a different country. People aren't going to see you ever again, so you just try it out and go. So, no dance experience required.
Yeah, that's so perfect. The idea like you're in a different country and you can be free. That's a big part of the quirky self-discovery, I think, that happens. That a lot of times when people work with me or they take a class, or like it happened with you, you wind up traveling a lot, and there's so much that you can explore about yourself when you leave your comfort zone of where you are at home. So yes, absolutely. That was a good way of bringing it together. Okay, let me see what other questions there are. How many dance classes are there? Let you answer that, Nele.
During the trip, we will have...
Every day, or how is it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Do we dance every day?
Probably, almost. It's, well, we will dance most of the days, but some of those days will be optional ones. So we have a private tango lessons for each one, two for each one scheduled, and one group session plus Psicotango seminar, which are already planned. And then we are going out to milongas with live music and performances, and there obviously we are more than welcome to dance and practice what we have learned, where it be just embrace and walking. So it's really up to all the participants, all you coming, how much energy you have, and obviously there are days just to take a rest, because sometimes you just have to digest all these new and fabulous things you are getting here. So it's in this way it's pretty relaxed and flexible, but definitely you may get some sore feet.
For our viewer people watching, we're doing Google Hangout for the first time, so we're figuring out how you can ask us questions. So even if you don't have a question, just say hi on the page or wherever it is that you would post a question, so we can figure this out together. So, so yeah, send us a question or just say hi. So let's see, what else? What other questions do we have? Do we stay together in the same place? Yes, we do. We stay together at Rick's place, which has a jacuzzi on the roof, which is a very fun place where we can connect and talk about our experiences. I remember having a very fun conversation about taxi dancers last time, which is a fun point that we could mention, that if you want, we help connect you with guys who are dancers for hire. So this is sometimes things that people do, women do in Buenos Aires when they want to sort of book their dancing for the night. You can actually hire someone to just be available for you. So I remember a particularly fun chat in the jacuzzi talking about taxi dancer experience. Anything else you guys want to share about Rick's place or the guest house?
That it's not a hotel, so you don't have that. It's kind of like a little home away from home, because we're all kind of family. We have breakfast together, we chill out together, and so it's not that kind of, isolation that a hotel has. So it's definitely an amazing place to be, and amazing neighborhood, right? I mean, just you're right in the center of San Telmo. It just has crazy Argentinian things happening every minute. So.
And jacuzzi, all the muscles which get tense with the practice. This is definitely a beautiful place to stay, and host Jack is also so helpful with everything, with information, and just amazing cook. Yeah, I think he is up to cook some of our meals there.
Mhm.
So yes, so many good words.
Yeah, we have a great breakfast every morning together, and then we have certain meals all together in the very beginning. We go out to a really cool place called Los Laureles where we have dinner, and then the last night, John, who runs our guest house, cooks for us, and Marina, who is a really amazing singer that Nele is friends with, comes and teaches us about tango music and sings with us. So that's a whole other dimension because there's the dance of tango, but there's also the music, which is really, really beautiful and enchanting, and the lyrics are really interesting and beautiful. So that's the cool part. Okay, let me see what else we have here. Do I need to have a partner? Well, no, you absolutely don't want to have. You don't want to have a partner. No, you can have a partner. Somebody could come with a partner on this trip, and I think it would be great. But the focus of this trip really is on women and women exploring themselves. And the other thing we have is the Quirky Connecting Circles. We don't really talk about that, but that's kind of our way of coming together and exposing and discussing this, what's happening for us on a deeper fun side too, of like what is it like to be learning tango in Buenos Aires, and what does that bring up? Being quirky alone, being quirky together, for the sensuality piece, all of that. Do you guys want to share your experience of the Quirky Connecting Circles?
Oh, I think during the first tango adventure, Quirky Tango Adventure, it just we hadn't planned those circles, but they just emerged because we had Sasha, and all participants were really eager to ask some questions about, or having questions about.
Well, and Nele, part of it was just that, you know, as in any circle when you get together with friends, is everyone is going through the same thing. It might be called a little different, it's a different place, but we all kind of had the same kind of, you know, questions and comments, and yeah, that's happened to me, or I can't get out of that either. So, you know, that itself is reassuring. Whether you solve something or get an aha moment, the idea of knowing other people are in the same place or were in the same place, as Nele kind of told us her story of moving to Buenos Aires, knowing that people have done it, been there, done it, and they're still there and they're having a great time. That was a huge part of the circles for me.
Yes, and I think those circles really connected us, and getting to know each other more deeply, and yes, exactly as you say, Carissa, getting to know where everyone is in their emotional state, or just to check up how's the process going in the discovery of a new world. Yeah, I think these were for me, these were one of the most heart-moving moments, definitely. Like these were the moments where we really opened up and thought from our hearts, and yeah, this trust we gained and we were sharing. I think it was really these were beautiful moments for me.
And is what I think makes the experience really sincere and authentic, and people really share at a deeper level than you would necessarily if you met them very quickly, because we created a way to come together. And yeah, as Carissa said, share where we are right now, and where we're coming from and what we're seeking. And that's the whole thing, is it's so much fun. Tango is so amazingly fun and pleasurable and beautiful. and we can get so much for ourselves, you know, and that's how we do the lessons and the Psicotango. So I think everybody probably would have an aha moment. I can't imagine someone coming and not having an aha moment. Everyone who's come, I think, has had, you know, some significant feeling of a new perspective for themselves. So, as well as just tango bliss.
Do you want to? I was just going to say, talk about how to prepare, kind of, and when to get there, because it is a full week, right? You're taking all of your experiences from a multi-month time and trying to give it to us in a small amount. So, you know, kind of preparation or when to arrive. Do you want to throw that out there a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, my recommendation is that if you can arrive the day before, it would be a good thing to do because you want to get some sleep, because we do have a busy week. It's really full of, Buenos Aires is a city of the night already, so you're going to be adjusting to this other way of life of going out, you know, early as 10. So that's different. And during the day, you know, that you have your private lessons or other things to do. So get there a day early. I would recommend staying longer if you can, and we worked out a deal with Rick's Place where you can stay there at a really affordable rate. So it's nice to have a breather of like other things to see in Buenos Aires. What else? What would you recommend, Carissa, based on your experience? Well, I'll say one more thing. You know, just come and have your intention and set limits about to take care of yourself, because everybody has to, like in a yoga class, you have to take care of yourself, you know? So it isn't, it's not a vacation where you just sit on the beach and do nothing. It's a vacation that is really active, and you're going to meet a lot of people and have a lot of new experiences.
No, I think, I mean, Lisa and I stayed an extra day, so we got to go kind of out on our own. We said that it was the little chickens leaving, or the little birds leaving the nest right on our own, and so that was a pretty exciting, empowering night for us to go without you guys, you know, and go try it out on our own. And just, you know, I felt a little bit bad because others didn't have the same kind of rest that I had. I was in a better state because I had, you know, I had been off for a little while, whereas others were coming from, you know, lots of work, and so that's really, it's a hard thing to put on your body to do that. So if there's any way possible to take an extra day and just adjust, it's definitely worth it. You can make it happen.
Yeah, for sure you're coming on an adventure, you know,
Yeah,
and not
adventure.
that takes energy, you know. It's not, I mean, while there's a jacuzzi and you do get massaged and there's yoga, so there's some spa elements, but there's also just lots of going out in the world and just lots of activity and learning. A new culture, different language, different money, so many things, yeah.
Intense.
Intense. I think we said when we were preparing the schedule, Nele and our friend Alexandra were talking about the schedule, and it was a little bit of a battle about editing. Like anything is always a battle of editing because you have so many ideas, and how do you get them down? And it was like, we are creating a week of intense enjoyment for you, and so, you know, let's keep it the proper. You have to moderate for your own level of intensity, but we'll give you lots that you can do.
Yes.
Would love to keep you here for the whole year if it would be possible.
I'm coming.
Yes, we need you. Well, let's see what else. We're going to have to wrap up in a few minutes. So any parting words from each of you guys about what people should know about either the trip or the journey of tango, or anything?
It's good to have expectations, but it's even better to just come with an open mind and open heart and ready to try and do your best what comes to tango. And because the magic really happens, just We will let it happen, as I already told. So take it as it is a vacation. It is time for you, So take it as it is. Like, take the time for yourself, and really and take advantage of the things what are around you and what's offered. And if everyone puts in their best, little best, and the enthusiasm, then we will have definitely an amazing time. So the offer is really great, but the adventure happens thanks to you who are coming here. So yes.
So I would say, oh, go, sorry.
I was already finishing up, so I really look forward to meet you all here and get to know you and introduce this amazing city and amazing tango. Yes.
So I would say that I just remember being in that kind of point of, there's got to be more. There's more out there. I'm not using this life as much as I should be. And if you're kind of in that situation, then this is what it is. I mean, maybe you can't do what Sasha did, where it was a year plus in South America and that kind of thing. But this is the next best thing to it, because it was going somewhere totally different and just letting whatever, letting come out of whatever's in you, let it come out, let it try it on, I guess is the way of saying it. Being somewhere in a different place really has a huge power to it. So if you can get away, and you can get away with Sasha's guidance and with what Nele has to offer, I mean, it's just a million times better. I think about stuff as I'm just kind of wandering around. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that feeling. I remember that. And it's when was it we went? I forget. It's been a couple months. May, right? So I'm still reeling from it. I'm still learning from it. And so if you've got the resources, go take advantage of what Sasha's got out there, because I'm still benefiting from it. So not going back to where I was before. Just, it's not going to happen. So thank you, Sasha and Nele.
Yes.
Well, I think that I love what each of you had to say, and I think the only thing I want to say is that with the first two groups that we had, what impressed me so much was exactly that, the people, the adventurous spirit, like you, Carissa, and the other women who came, like, trusting me, really. It was like, wow, you're coming with me to this other country. And the quality of the people who come, just the way that you have this bold spirit, it just creates an incredible dynamic of what we're doing and the kinds of people who are attracted, the conversations, the friendships. Friendships have continued, too, as a result of the trip. So, I just think that I'm really looking forward to meeting you and whoever comes next, and what is created, and many quirky adventures to come. So it definitely is, like Nele said, the offer is great. What we have created for you is amazing, and it is created by the people, so we want to meet you. That's all. So I think that we're good for our first Google Hangout. Pretty amazing. Yay. Yay. And Nele and me. Woohoo! All right, I'm going to stop this, and well, do we have to say anything else to each other, like we rock or something like that?
We do.
We do rock. Tango too. Not only rock.